Good afternoon. My name is Edward Sanshin Oberholtzer. I'm the resident priest here at the Joseph Priestley Zen Sangha. We're an affiliate of Moon Zen. A number of years ago, when I was the director of the Thomas Beaver Free Library in Danville, Pennsylvania, I would meet with my teacher, James Ford, on Skype every couple of weeks. One afternoon, having shooed my staff out the front door at 5 o'clock, I went back to my office, opened up Skype on my laptop, and contacted James. Little did I know that just a few hours before, he had been contacted by the head of the search committee for an interim minister at a UU church out there in California, and had been asked in his capacity as a UU minister of long standing for 5 questions that the search committee could use in the interview process. Of course, the first thing he asked me in that video call was what my questions would be. I'm always terrible when put on the spot, so stalling for time, I threw out, "Are you a cat person or a dog person?" I did come up with the remaining 4 questions, but despite having simply tossed out my initial question there, I still, on sober reflection, stand by it. Are you a cat or a dog person? Not a judgment, though my cat Hobbes would insist, I'm sure, that it could be none other than judgmental. I do think it points to a certain style, a way of being in the world. Now, if we're to believe Rudyard Kipling's Just So tales, 3 men out of 5 will throw their boots and axes at a cat. Even the cat that walks by himself and all places are alike to him. I like the way that cat in that tale simply shrugs, neither a dog, nor a horse, nor a cow. A cat that deigns to live with you, accept your food and your head pats, but insists on the door being open to the backyard, for all places are alike to him. An animal that owns rather than is owned. There's a story of the Prophet Muhammad not wanting to disturb his cat that had fallen asleep on the hem of his robe, and so taking shears and cutting off the robe rather than wake the cat. In a lovely cross-cultural incidents of this, there's a Japanese print of a young woman cutting her kimono rather than wake a sleeping cat. Of course, this might be fear of the cat's teeth and claws that are like Rilke's angels, of whom we are so awed because they so serenely disdained to annihilate us. Perhaps we should turn back to the Lotus Sutra and invoke Avalokiteshvara's protection when, if surrounded by raging beasts with sharp fangs and dreadful claws, by mindfully invoking Avalokiteshvara's power, they will quickly scatter in all directions. For, as Kipling wrote, all places are alike to them. No wonder the monks of the eastern and western halls were arguing over a cat. And so case 14 of the Gateless Gate, which goes, the priest Nanchuan, not a cat person, found monks of the eastern and western halls arguing about a cat. He held up the cat and said, "Everyone, if you can say something, I will spare this cat. If you can't say anything, I will cut off its head." No one could say a word, so Nanchuan cut the cat in 2. That evening, Zhao Zhou, arguably not a dog person, returned from outside, and Nanchuan told him about what had happened. Zhao Zhou removed a sandal from his foot, placed it on his head, and walked out. Nanchuan said, "If you'd been there, the cat would have been spared." And this is what we're called upon to do. Just step forth, a word, a phrase, a speech. Raise your hand, blink, something, anything. Come forth, be present. Here, now, Nanchuan, the cat hater, and no, I'd hold my hiring vote in the search committee for Zhao Zhou. Even Nanchuan wants you to spare the cat, to spare the world, to spare yourself. Just step forth. So much can be spared if you would say something. Some one word of Zen. Not even a word, a breath. You can bet the cat did that. Fangs out, claws out, fangs barred, a yowl of "No, monk!" that not one of the other monks could echo. It's funny, it's so easy and so hard at the same time. We all face this, you and me, though I can best vouch for my own failures to speak. Let me follow in the footsteps of giants in wrongly attributing to Edmund Burke that the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. The only thing necessary for the death of a cat is for good monks to say nothing. We can all save the cat, even dog people. We can all save the world. And so Wu Man's verse, if Zhao Zhou had been there, he would have taken charge. He would have snatched away the sword, and Nanchuan would have begged for his life, just like that cat's claws, and the cat would perhaps have shrugged, for all places are alike to him. Thank you.